Sandy. Welcome to today's practice. And today is going to be a lot of strength for your legs, and we're going to be in the hips a lot too. So that's going to help the stability. It's going to help create a lot of nice mobility in your hips, a lot of functional movements that are going to help you not only on the mat, but it's going to help you out in your daily life as you're going and living your yoga off your mat. So grab a few props. If you have a couple of blocks, a blanket, grab your things and let's get started. We'll begin in child's pose for today's practice. Come into hands and knees and then send the knees out wide with the big toes drawing towards each other, and really give yourself some room for the upper body to lower and connect to the mat. Take a moment to let your forehead connect and start to rock your head side to side. And as you're beginning to notice the physicality, the shape you're in, start to notice the movement of your breath. Take some nice full inhales and stretch out your exhalations, and consider opening your mouth and taking a few cleansing breaths. And stretch out the arms long, reach and extend. And for today's child's pose here, begin to connect your palms together. Relax through your shoulders. And then keep the arms stretched out, or consider bending at the elbows to lift the hands, and the thumbs may possibly draw a little closer towards your shoulders. Move the breath in and out through your nostrils. Feel a container and a layer of support as you're gathering in and drawing your low belly in. And let the breath move in the upper region of the torso, the lower lobes of your lungs, filling up with the inhalations and emptying out on the exhalations. And begin to release the hands down and open the hands wide. Slide the pinky fingers over to the edge of the mat. Take a breath in and a breath out. Travel the hands over to the right side. Keep moving your hips towards your heels. Notice the sensations running up through the left side of your body. Notice the breath. Reach and extend for one more round of breath. And then travel the hands back through center as you'll start to side bend over to the left as you're stretching the hands over, and the hips keep moving back towards the heels. Draw a line of awareness. Notice the sensations. Notice the regions in the body. Notice how the breath was affected as you change the shape of your body. On your next breath, walk the hands back in and begin to make your way up to hands and knees into tabletop. Begin to take a few rounds of cow and cat, heart and eyes forward on the inhalation, spine high on the exhalation. Move with your breath. Notice the articulation of the spine. Breathe in and breathe out. And then take a moment to settle back into tabletop. Strong connection of the hands, strong connection and awareness to the feet. Begin to tuck the toes, and you'll just take a few rounds of shifting your hips back towards your heels. Get long through the arms, and then shift back, lift the hips back into tabletop. So move the hips back towards the heels, toes are tucked. Lift back up, shoulders are over the wrist into tabletop. One more time, shift back, hold right here, and then wrap the upper arm bones in. Keep the eyes in the space between your hands as you slowly begin to lift the knees and make your way into your first downward facing dog. Begin to press through one heel and soften the opposite knee, shifting side to side. Wake up the bottoms of the feet. Stay connected and grounded in the hands, strong in the legs, and then settle into stillness. Stillness in the shape you're creating, but notice the movement of the breath. Notice the movement of energy on the interior. Move your head side to side and up and down. Breathe into a nice big yes for this time that you're spending on your mat. Begin to draw your right knee in towards your chest and place your foot through to runner's lunge. Ease the back knee down and untuck the toes. Press into the top of the back foot and strong connection to the front foot as you press the mat away to lift the arms up and overhead into modified crescent. Cinch in around the waist and allow the strong connection of being rooted and grounded in the feet help you to gather in to lift up and find length through your spine. Last round of breath, and then the exhalation will bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Bring the heart and eyes forward as you pick up the back knee, and then take a big step to the top of the mat and fold. Take a moment to settle into forward fold. Get into both feet, strong in the legs. Begin to slide your palms to your shins or your thighs as you half lift. Exhale, feel a hinge at your hips, and the crown of the head moves down to fold. Root into your feet, soften your knees, gather your palms to meet at your heart as you glide your way up to standing. Lift the heart, lift the eyes, and then take a moment to stand as you bring the palms to meet at your heart. Stand tall, stand well. Glide the hands up and overhead, lift the heart, lift the eyes, and then with strong legs in your heart, slowly hinge your way back down into your forward fold. Stay in flow with the breath. On the inhale, slide your palms to your shins or thighs, and as you exhale, frame the front foot and step your right foot back to runner's lunge with the knee easing down. Untuck the toes. Take a moment to press into the top of the back foot. Root strongly into the front foot. As you press the mat away, you lift yourself up and the shoulders are up and over the hips for modified crescent. Take a moment to ground down into the feet, strong in the legs, but from the strong grounding, cinch in and lift the spine up out of the pelvis as you lengthen up through the fingertips. Take a breath in. And then exhale the hands down. Transition back to downward facing dog by drawing the left knee in towards your chest and stepping the foot back. Begin to pedal through the feet again, press through one heel and soften the opposite knee, shifting side to side. Then settle evenly back into both feet. Let your heels get heavy and create some lightness for your hands. Breathe in and breathe out. Begin to shift forward into plank, and you'll soften your left knee and you'll keep pressing back through your right heel. And then shift back to downward facing dog, and as you shift back, you'll soften the right knee and you'll press through the left heel. Shift forward and back through plank and back to downward facing dog with this pedaling action as you're shifting and lengthening the shape into plank, and then sending the hips back into downward facing dog. Take one more round as you shift forward into plank, and then press back evenly into both heels as you come into downward facing dog. Relax a moment, take a breath, inhale, and stretch out your exhalation. Listen closely, draw your left knee in towards your chest, and place your foot through to your runner's lunge. Bring the heart and eyes forward, then take a big step to the top of the mat and fold. Half lift as you breathe in, palms to shins or thighs. As you breathe out, crown of the head down, strong in the legs as you're folding into yourself. Root into your feet, soften your knees, gather in to make your way up to standing. Stretch the arms up and overhead. Then this time, with strong legs and your heart leading you, come right back down into your forward fold. Half lift on your inhalation. As you exhale, step the left foot back, framing the front foot. The heart and eyes come forward into your runner's lunge. Right knee will draw into the chest to step the foot back, and you're in downward facing dog. Stay rooted and grounded in both feet, then begin to lift the right heel up, no more than hip height, and the toes will stay pointing down. Use the strength in your arms to press the mat away. Root a little more through your left heel and press out through your right heel. You'll begin to draw your right knee in towards your chest, and as the knee comes into the chest, you're going to step halfway up so the right toe mounds come down. Press into the toe mounds, and as you press, begin to lift the opposite leg and press back through your left heel. You'll lower back down the left foot, draw the right knee in towards the chest, and then extend out into this variation of 3-point, keeping the hips level and press back through your right heel. We'll do this 2 more times, so begin to press back through the right heel, then pull the knee in. You'll take the half step up, so press down into the right toe mounds. As you press down, the left leg will lift, and you'll press and extend out through your left heel. Lower the left foot, draw the right knee in, and extend the right leg straight as you're pressing back through the right heel. Pull the knee in. Place the halfway point of the toe mounds down to the mat to press and lift the left leg. Ground yourself with the left foot and then press and extend back through the right heel. Now transition back to the top of the mat, pull the right knee in, step up, runner's lunge. Heart and eyes come forward, then big step up to forward fold. Half lift on the inhalation, forward fold on the exhalation. Root into the feet, gather it in, stretch it up, extended mountain. Lift the heart and the eyes, and then let your strong legs and your heart lead you all the way down with control. Half lift, breathe in. As you breathe out, plant the hands and step the feet back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to settle. Get into both hands and get into both feet. Take a nice breath in and stretch out your exhalation. Begin to come into the variation on 3-point as you'll lift the left heel up and keep the hips level and the toes pointing down. Press down through your right heel a little more and press back and out through the left heel, but all the while keep cinching into center. Begin to pull your left knee in towards your chest. Here's the half step up. Plant the left toe mounds. As you press into the toe mounds, you'll lift the right heel up with a straight leg. Lower the right foot down, pull the left knee in, and then straighten the left heel back as you press out. 2 more times. Pull the left knee in, cinching around the waist, use your core, and then plant the toe mounds down. You're half stepping up to the top of the mat. Lift the right heel, lower down, stretch and extend through the left heel. Last time, pull it in. Toe mounds come down, right heel will lift. Lower the right heel, pull the left knee in, and then stretch back and extend into downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Draw the left knee in towards your chest, step the foot through to your runner's lunge. Heart and eyes come forward. Take the big step up to forward fold. Half lift on your inhalation, fold on your exhalation. Root into your feet, gather it in, stretch up to extended mountain on the inhale. Take a moment to pause as you bring your hands to your heart and take a moment to stand. Breathe in and breathe out. Glide the hands up and overhead, and on your exhalation, let the strength of your legs and your heart lead you with control all the way down. Half lift, breathe in. As you breathe out, plant the hands, step the feet back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to settle into both hands and both feet. Breathe in and breathe out. Lift up onto your toe mounds on your inhalation. Press back through the heels on the exhalation. Ease to the knees into tabletop, and then begin to come into bird dog as you'll float your right heel up. Create extension through the spine as you press back through the right heel. Extend and lengthen the heart and eyes forward, and feel this line of awareness and connection of the strength of the back side of your body and this expansion of the front side of the body. Cinching around your waist, and then you're going to start to draw your right knee in, and then you'll step the foot over to the side, and it's going to become like a modified warrior lower body, and then the hands will come down and walk over to the right, so it becomes a hybrid pose of downward facing dog in the upper body and the warrior, modified warrior in the lower body. Take a moment to breathe here. Consider the movement patterns here and what's taking place in your hips. Notice the sensations and find the shape that supports steady breath flow. Couple more rounds of breath here. Inhale, fill up, and on your exhalations, empty out. Slowly you begin to walk the hands in, and then you begin to come into a modified side plank. So you'll begin to straighten the right leg and then take the left hand to the side. Press strongly through the outer blade of the right foot and extend and lengthen up through the top hand. Cinching around your waist to lift up through the top hand to come up to gate pose. You'll lift now and extend up through the left hand. Cinch in. Consider a little side bend over to the side. Now begin to pop up your right heel, and you'll begin to turn and bend the knee and bring your hand to your thigh. Top hand's going to reach now over and stretch and reach at a diagonal towards the side. Think about a modified side angle here. Take a breath and then come back up through the top hand. You'll rotate your way back down and come back into the bird dog extension. So press back strongly through your right heel, extend and lengthen through the spine to bring the heart and eyes forward. Then draw your right knee in, ease your way down, and come into child's pose. Connect your forehead, connect and settle and land on the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Steady breath in, steady breath out. Full breath in and a full breath out. Rise back up to hands and knees, come into tabletop, and then we'll begin to come into bird dog on the left side. Begin to lift the left leg no more than hip height, then you'll press back strongly through your left heel. Create this nice extension and length through the spine to begin. Balance the action between the strength of the back side of your body and this nice expansive opening in the front side of your body. Now, begin to draw the left knee in, and then we come into the hybrid shape. As you draw the knee in, you step the left foot out to the side, and it becomes the modified warrior lower body, and then the downward facing dog in the upper body. So walk your hands over to the left side, connect your hands, take a moment to pause and notice. Notice the movement patterns, the quality of mobility in your left hip. Notice what's showing up in the right hip as well, and then support the sensation you're feeling with steadiness of breath. Create a steadiness of your mind as you breathe in and breathe out. You'll begin to make the transition into the modified plank. So you'll straighten the left leg, pressing out into the outer blade of the foot, and the right hand comes down, and you'll lengthen up through the left hand. Keep cinching in around your waist. You could always slide something underneath your hands if you need to lift up a little higher. A yoga block would be great here. Begin to transition up to gate pose as you come up through the top hand. The right hand will extend. Remember this quality of lifting the spine up out of the pelvis. So stay supported in the lower body, but lift up and consider a little stretch over with the right hand towards the left side. Begin to pop up the left toes to pop up onto the heels to transition back into that modified warrior leg as you'll begin to bring the left forearm to the thigh. And here comes that stretch and reaching on the diagonal across towards the left side with the right arm and the hand. Think about that modified side angle and this extension and now as you reach. Take one more full round of breath here. Stretch out your next exhalation. Transition your way slowly and controlled. Notice the movement patterns as you're going to bring yourself back down into the bird dog extension. Create the extension as you press back from the heel all the way through the spine and out through the crown of the head. Let the heart and the eyes extend forward. Take a breath in. Slow and controlled, notice the transition, notice the space in between as you make your way in to your child's pose. Steady the breath and calm the mind. Breathe in and breathe out. A few more rounds of breath here. Stay in presence, notice the sensations you're feeling. Notice what areas in the body are getting your attention. Then steady your mind and invite the ease as you stretch out your next exhalation. Begin to transition your way back up to hands and knees. You'll tuck the toes and you'll take that movement of moving the hips back towards your heels, a few reclining back and coming back into your tabletop, shift the hips back, move back into the tabletop, shift back, and then make your way into tabletop. You begin to shift back and come into bird dog. Lift the right heel, pull the right knee in towards your chest, and you'll step through. Find the footprint of your right foot. Find the heel bone as you're going to begin to press. And as you press, you'll begin to draw your left foot up. It's going to tap to the outside, and you'll press strongly to rise up and come into balance as you're going to draw your left knee up towards your chest. Slowly begin to lower down, and then you'll step back into the bird dog. Press back through the right heel. Draw the knee in, plant the foot. Step up first, left foot steps up, and then strong as you press, you rise up against gravity to draw the left knee up to standing. One more time, slowly lower down, stretch it back, extend, and then take the step up, strong connection to your heel bone as you press and rise, cinch into center to come up to standing. Release slowly and come to standing in both feet, mountain pose. Take a breath in and take a breath out. You'll begin to soften your knee and keep your right leg straight and your left knee soften. And your right hand's going to stretch up and your left hand's going to stretch down. We're going to come into a variation of airplane. So as we come into airplane, soften your right knee a little. This will help to keep the muscles hugging into the hip joint here. And then you'll begin to stretch and extend your right hand back, your left hand forward. Float your left heel up, and remember the qualities of bird dog here. So the left toes are down, press out through the left heel. Keep the softness in the knee, stretch out, and then slowly hinge your way back up. Stretch the arms up and overhead, and then exhale all the way down into your forward fold. Add a half lift on your inhalation. On your exhalation, plant your hands and step your way back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to settle. Breathe in and breathe out. Release to the knees, come into tabletop. Extend the left heel out as you come into bird dog. Cinch in around the waist. Draw the left knee in towards your chest as you step up, and the left foot create that connection to the heel bone. As you press down, you'll start to bring the left foot up to tap beside the left. Now root down strongly, gather in. Here you come rising up against gravity, cinching around the waist, come up to standing. As you come up, the right knee will draw up. Slow and controlled now as you move with gravity, lower down. Ease your way back down, and then you'll stretch the left heel back out into bird dog. 2 more times, draw the knee in. Plant the left foot, gather in, step up the right foot, feel that connection, and then root strongly through the left heel bone to rise up to standing. Come into the balance as the right knee draws up. Slow and controlled, move with gravity, strengthen the legs as you lower down. Easing the knee down, you find the extension out through the left heel. Last time coming up to standing, pull the left knee in, plant the foot. Step up with the right foot, gather it in, then rise up from that strong organization to come up to standing. Right knee rises high, and then step lightly out. Take a moment to settle, breathe in, and breathe out. Prepare for balance into that expression of the modification or variation on airplane. You'll keep the left leg straight and soften your right knee. Here's where the right hand will extend down, the left hand will extend up. You'll start to soften your left knee. Soften the left knee to invite the muscles to turn on and to hug into the left hip joint. You'll begin to stretch your right heel back. Now here's the variation of the arms. The right hand will extend forward, the left hand back as you press back through the right heel. Feel the extension from heel to the crown of the head. Gather it in as you slowly float your way back up and you step lightly out. Settle back evenly into both sides of your body. Settle a moment in mountain pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Stretch the arms up and overhead. Inhale. Let your heart and strong legs lead you all the way down on the exhalation. Stay in flow, half lift, strong legs. Plant the hands, step the feet back, downward facing dog. Shift forward to plank on the inhale. Ease the knees down, soften the elbows, and with control, lower yourself all the way down. Keep the hands where they are, press into the tops of the feet. One baby cobra from strong legs. Peel the heart up on the inhale. Lower the forehead down on the exhalation. Press up to hands and knees, let the toes tuck, move the hips back, ease the knees up, and find yourself back in downward facing dog. Cinch in around the waist. Lift the right heel back up into that variation on 3-point. Feel the extension out through the right heel. Pull the right knee in and take the half step up like we did earlier in the practice. Press into the toe mounds. As you press, you're going to begin to lift the left heel. Now listen closely. Now the left heel and the left knee are going to draw in towards the chest so you can plant your left foot up to the top of the mat. You'll ease the right knee down. Take a moment and then rise up. You'll be in a kneeling position on one knee. Begin to come into revolved as you're going to lift the spine up out of the pelvis, and you'll revolve towards the left and take the outside of your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Slowly revolve and extend your left hand towards the back of your mat. Option to take your left hand and place it onto the sacrum, and you can consider here a variation of a half camel. So you would lift up through your right hand, stay connected and grounded in the lower body. Come back up slowly, feeling the spine lift up out of the pelvis. After the extension and length, come out of the rotation. You'll release the hands down and come into forward fold, lengthen the legs. Take a moment to settle into both feet. Half lift as you inhale. As you exhale, plant the hands. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to settle. Take a moment to notice. Begin to lift the left heel up. Feel that extension out through the left heel into this variation on 3-point. Cinch in around your waist. Draw the left knee in and then take the half step up. Press strongly into your left toe mounds so that you'll begin to lift your right heel. Here's where the right knee comes in towards the chest, and you slowly cinch into center and get real low as you step your right foot through, easing the left knee down. And you set up for that kneeling one side, you press and you come up so you're on your right side, and we'll come into the rotation, but create the lift and extension first. You rotate with the outside of your left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Right hand can remain on the waist until you come into the revolving. Consider extending the right hand back. Here's the option to come into the half camel. Place your right palm to your low back, right, your sacrum region. Feel that connection. Stretch the left hand up and extend back. Notice the breath. Stay connected and grounded. Stay present and aware. Revolve slowly back out, and then you'll transition your way into forward fold. Take a few moments here, widen your stance, come into ragdoll as you catch hold of your elbows and frame your head. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Release your bind. Shorten your stance. Half lift on the inhalation, strong legs. On your exhalation, plant your hands, step your feet back. Downward facing dog. Take a few moments here in this final downward facing dog. Notice the shape. Notice the sensations. Breathe in and breathe out. Take an ease to the knees and begin to come into a reclined position as you're going to set up for a modified fish pose. We'll come into a modified fish pose and actually use 2 yoga blocks, and we'll be placing them horizontally. One will be running across the mid-thoracic region of your spine, so across the shoulder blades, and the other will be supported for your head. Once you've settled into the shape, then notice where your legs feel comfortable. Consider legs either in a grounded bridge stance or legs could be stretched out. Steady your breath and calm your mind. Find a shape that feels helpful. Find a shape that doesn't feel distracted by strong sensation. Find a shape where you can just be at ease. Breathe in and breathe out. Take 2 more full rounds of breath. Stretch out your exhalations to invite this heightened quality of ease. And slow and steady, begin to make your way up enough so that you can remove the blocks. And with care, ease your way all the way down into recline and come into constructive rest pose. So reclined, and then the feet will be wide to the width of your mat. The knees will draw in towards each other. Relax and settle and notice. Notice in the transition. Notice the sensations that arise from the space you're creating physically, the space you're creating mentally. Begin to gather the knees in. Take a spinal twist. Knees will move to the right. Consider a block underneath or between the thighs for support. Steady breath. Calm mind. Transition slowly back to center. Give yourself a moment in center. Take the twist to the opposite side as you gently ease the knees over to the left. Support as necessary, as feels helpful with the block. And invite yourself to just be. Invite yourself to be at ease, to be present. And slow and steady, you'll come back to center. Draw the knees in. It may be helpful to rock the hips side to side. Consider rounding yourself into a tight little ball as the forehead comes up towards the knees. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe your way out, stretch and lengthen out into Shavasana. Take on the shape and create the shape that is fully supported. No work to be done. And take a breath in. Open the mouth. Exhale out. Now is your time to stay here, to linger. Consider pausing here and give yourself at least 3 to 5 minutes into a still, conscious relaxation space. If time permits, stay longer. And as you've taken your time in this conscious relaxation, in the close of the practice in Shavasana, you'll slowly make your transition back up. Find a comfortable, easy seat, a seat where your pelvis feels supported and the spine can lift and lengthen upward. And take a moment to notice that as you become upright, as to be seated here well in this upright position, the heart has space to lift, to open. Connect your palms at your heart. Let's breathe together. Full breath in. Long extended breath out.